It's time for Media Watch now. Emma James is here to tell us what is making a buzz online. Good to see you, Emma. It's all about the midterms tonight, isn't it? And how the media is involved in all of this. Fox News, of course, is talked about a lot in American politics. It is the most watched channel in the United States. And their top presenter, I think he's their top-rated presenter, is under fire tonight because he literally got off on stage with Donald Trump at a campaign rally.
Yes, and he wasn't the only one. There were various different right-wing commentators, journalists, presenters who actually joined Donald Trump on stage, the final push, if you like, a rally in Missouri. The New York Times goes with this headline: Fox News personalities embrace Trump at his final rally before the election. Sean Hannity was one of those who took to the stage. He's made no secret of his ties to Donald Trump, it has to be said. He's known to be an advisor to him. There were reports earlier this year that he could, even by some people in the White House, be referred to as the shadow chief of staff. So there's no debating the fact that obviously Sean Hannity is close to Donald Trump. However, to have a news presenter actually appearing alongside the president at a campaign rally like that is extremely unusual, to say the least, if not unheard of, I think. But Sean Hannity certainly was very much on message last night, echoing the words of Donald Trump. Take a listen.
By the way, all those people in the back are fake news. And the one thing that has made and defined your presidency more than anything else: promises made, promises kept.
So there you go, Sean Hannity certainly backing his man. Now, he maintains that it was a surprise because he called the other reporters there fake news. Lots of people making the same accusation back at him because he tweeted earlier yesterday, "To be clear, I will not be on stage campaigning with the president." And a few hours later, of course, there he was. He says it was a surprise, but a lot of reporters saying they were actually given advance notice that Sean Hannity was going to be speaking. So we'll probably never entirely know the truth. I'll leave you to draw your own conclusions. What's interesting to note, though, is the different kind of language being used by different organisations. The Huffington Post certainly taking their lead, I think, from social media, talking about comparisons between Fox News and the state-run media normally seen in authoritarian regimes. And they're talking about tweets like this in particular: the Fox News and the White House merger is complete. It's full-on state media as of today. This gentleman saying, when I was in sixth grade, we learned about state media as part of authoritarian states like the Soviet Union. Never thought it would be this blatant. The Washington Post taking a stronger line, I think, than the New York Times, describing Trump as fawning over Fox News. They've done an incredible job for us. Now, that quote really is the essence of why people feel that this should not be happening, because Fox News is hugely influential. Interestingly, one of their commentators, Geraldo Rivera, is trying to distance himself a little bit, even though he's tweeting himself alongside Donald Trump here. He says this is not an endorsement, it's strictly a private moment. Not all that private, because he's put it on Twitter for the world to see. But certainly he's trying to sort of maintain a semblance of journalistic credibility. And he has been very critical of Donald Trump in the past. Interestingly, he seems to have pushed all that aside and is standing very firmly shoulder to shoulder with him on the eve of the midterms.
Yeah, it's the case for a lot of people over in the US at the moment, isn't it? They seem to have forgotten past comments and are moving closer to the president. And it's not just the traditional media, is it? The social media platforms are also getting involved in this election.
Very much so. And unsurprisingly, given all of the suspicions and allegations about supposed interference ahead of the 2016 elections, people are watching very closely to see whether there are any attempts on social media to influence people's voting behaviour. Facebook saying that they have already blocked a number of accounts. Now, it's not a huge number. It's over 100, 30 on Facebook, 85 on Instagram. And what they've said is that ordinarily at this stage in an investigation, they wouldn't actually be going public with this information. But given that it was just ahead of the midterms, they felt that they had to let people know that they've taken action and the facts as they know them at this moment in time. Other social media interesting things to look at in terms of the midterms, obviously on Twitter, it is absolute overload already when it comes to the midterms. It's very hard to get through it all, to find things that are relevant, that you know are true. TikTok, which is part of Bloomberg, is putting together a series of, or will put together a series of Twitter moments for every single state in the US. So people will be able to basically click on those Twitter moments, get a selection of tweets from across the political spectrum and get a clear idea of what's happening, verified tweets that they know they can trust. And it's an interesting way to sort of deal. That's a big job. Absolutely. Interesting way to deal with the overload. Google is perhaps pointing out some rather alarming trends, the fact that people are Googling how to vote, and also what are we voting for and what do midterm elections do. The other thing that's happening online, which is considerably more entertaining than all this, is this. It's the hashtag me voting in 2016 versus me voting in 2018. A lot of people feel those 2 years have been very tough. Those images, of course, from Titanic, the movie, you might remember. Leonardo DiCaprio looking much more carefree, supposedly, in 2016 than he does right now. This one, Charlize Theron, looking, well, on the right, as I've never seen her look before. I'm not sure what movie that's from.
You haven't seen that film? Oh,
no, absolutely not. I need to get out more. Of course, the dancing left shark has turned into a raging, full-on great white. And this one is probably my favourite of all. I think this image, cute little dog turns into rabid wolf.
I like the cute dog. Well, it's good to keep things on a lighter note to end. All right, Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with Media Watch.